The official accounts tell of grand strategic plans, but the truth of 1942 reveals something far more desperate. On July 11, 1942, a brutal reality struck the Japanese high command. Their meticulously laid plans for Operation FS, a bold invasion aimed at Fiji, New Caledonia, and Samoa, were suddenly, irrevocably cancelled. The architect of this ambitious undertaking, Lieutenant General Hyakutake Harukichi and his 17th Army, found their entire strategy shattered. The reason was stark: the devastating loss of 4 crucial fleet carriers at Midway. Without these naval titans, a grand amphibious assault across the Pacific was simply no longer an option. Instead, Hyakutake received a new, perilous directive that same day: capture Port Moresby and strategic points in eastern New Guinea via an arduous overland drive across the forbidding Owen Stanley Range. Colonel Tsuji, understanding the urgency, immediately ordered the finalization of research for this unexpected shift. The South Seas Detachment began rapid mobilization for Operation Re, the invasion of the Buna-Gona area, a move born not of strategic choice, but of dire, immediate necessity. Yet, even as Japan pivoted in desperation, the Allies were already moving, a shadow war unfolding largely out of public sight. Commander MacArthur, with uncanny foresight, recognized the critical importance of Port Moresby's eastern flank. He planned for an essential airbase over Milne Bay, securing authorization on June 12 for the clandestine construction of a secret base at Gili Gili. A mere 10 days later, on June 22, Operation Fall River commenced. A company of the 46th American Engineer Battalion, alongside 2 companies and a machine gun platoon of the 55th Australian Battalion, were secretly transported along the coast. This was a silent, frantic race against time, with stakes higher than most could comprehend. Further north, a different kind of pressure was being applied. On June 29, approximately 70 raiders, under the tenacious Captain Norman Winning, comprised of Australian commandos and NGVR veterans, executed a successful raid on Salamaua. Without losing a single man, they inflicted casualties, seized vital documents, and destroyed a bridge and several houses, compelling the Japanese to reinforce Salamaua with 200 soldiers. On July 2, the Joint Chiefs of Staff formally outlined a 3-phase offensive targeting New Britain, New Ireland, and New Guinea. The initial phase focused on Tulagi and the Southern Solomons under Vice Admiral Robert Gormley, with MacArthur's command then taking over Lae, Salamaua, the northeast New Guinea coast, and the remainder of the Solomon Islands, all culminating in a final assault on Rabaul. To support this intricate web of operations, the Allied Geographical Section and Intelligence Bureau were formally established on July 19, tasked with gleaning every scrap of information and securing native cooperation. But the Japanese, in turn, were equally relentless in their own adjustments. Following Midway's crushing losses, Admiral Yamamoto fundamentally reorganized the combined fleet on July 14. The Third Fleet was reconstituted as a powerful aircraft carrier task force around the surviving Shokaku and Zuikaku, bolstered by light carriers Ryujo and Zuiho, and the Hayo-class carriers Junyo and Hayo, alongside numerous battleships, cruisers, and destroyers. The Fourth Fleet was reduced, and a formidable new Eighth Fleet, under Vice Admiral Makawa Gunichi, was formed specifically to defend the South Pacific. This massive reshuffle was not just a reorganization, it was a clear foreshadowing of the brutal chapter to come. On the night of July 20th, the Yokoyama Advance Party, led by Colonel Yokoyama Yosuke, departed Rabaul. The very next day, July 21st, they landed at Gona, while simultaneously, a company of SNLF Marines debarked at Buna, all escorted by a small fleet under Rear Admiral Matsuyama Mitsuharu, enduring B-17 and B-26 bomber harassment en route. The grand strategies debated in distant headquarters meant little to the men stepping onto those beaches. They were caught in the immediate, brutal struggle for control that Midway had irrevocably set in motion. This was not a calculated progression. This was a desperate, unforgiving pivot into the heart of the unknown.